Chris, thanks. Dusty joins us now as we break down the Big 12 title game and look ahead to the bowl matchups. OSU players said after the loss to Texas, no, they weren't out of gas after the past two comeback wins. The bottom line, Texas is good, and Texas played really well from the start. One of the biggest matchups, could OSU run on a stingy Longhorn defense? The answer, not really. Ollie Gordon, 34 yards on 13 carries. Texas also trying to get Gordon's emotion to boil over on a frustrating day. Cowboys knew they would have to get more done in the passing game, and big gains came on connections between Alan Bowman and Rashad Owens. Catches of 34 and 41 yards along with 2 TD grabs. OSU's Brennan Presley was sick 2 years ago in the title game against Baylor. He led the Cowboys in terms of catches with 9 for 93 yards and a touchdown Saturday. And linebacker Nick Martin's speed was on display at times, including here. He had 13 tackles and an interception. At that point, OSU was trying to climb out of a 14-0 deficit, and they managed to cut it in half. But defensively, the Cowboys just couldn't get off the field. Texas with a good plan to start. Misdirection, screens. OSU's aggressiveness early led to big plays, and Longhorns quarterback Quinn Ewers was able to get into a rhythm early. Texas receivers making play after play. Adonai Mitchell and tight end Jatavian Sanders combining for 14 catches for 214 yards and 2 scores. Now, overall, this was a Texas team that was ready, played with an edge. The team's speed gave OSU problems, like Robinson right here. The Longhorns have almost a dozen current players expected to be drafted. The Cowboys' road to Arlington was one to remember, thanks to all the ups and downs, and Mike Gundy was quick to praise the players afterward.
Couldn't be any more proud of the way they competed to get to this point. Week in, week out, they stayed with the process. They didn't lose their train of thought. They didn't lose the process of preparing each week. And we're lucky we get to play another game.
Report card time. Offense C-, 281 total yards, just 3 of 10 on third downs. Defense is a D. Needed to get off the field earlier, but couldn't stop big plays. Texas had 12 of 15 yards or more. Special teams a B. Coverage units were solid. No advantage for Texas there. Overall, though, it's a D. Texas deserves credit for this being a D. The Cowboys, though, did have some costly missed assignments.
Yeah, John, look, Texas was outstanding, and they had been kind of building to this point for quite a while now. It is a great run for Oklahoma State, but obviously came to a close there in Arlington. And the start for Texas, I thought, is what did it. The first 4 possessions, 4 touchdowns. The Oklahoma State defense just not good enough in coverage. Quinn Ewers, as you touched on, John, he got into a rhythm, over 450 yards passing, 4 touchdowns. They've got so much speed out there at the skill position. Just gave Oklahoma State a lot of issues throughout the course of this game. But you touched on Nicholas Martin. Look at this speed running down Xavier Worthy. The effort on that play was tremendous. And he gets this interception. At the time, it's 28-7. They cut it to 14. You kind of felt, okay, maybe this is where Oklahoma State can make their run. They score just a few plays later on Rashad Owens' touchdown pass. But in the end, Ollie Gordon could not get it going. Really the catalyst to what changed this season for Oklahoma State was not the catalyst to get this game going. Just 13 carries, 34 yards on the game. Oklahoma State could not run the football to save their life, and that's part of the storyline going into this, that Texas run defense. And I thought this run by Keelan Robinson, you see the speed and breakaway ability. The explosive plays were just too much for Oklahoma State to overcome. Give Texas all the credit in the world. Year 3 of Steve Sarkisian. They've got the dudes, and they put together a good culture, and they put together a championship season with a chance to go to the playoff. But for Oklahoma State, a season that no one will ever forget, the way they turned things around, winning the last bedroom and getting back to Arlington, but just was not in the cards for a Big 12 championship this season.
Well, this one wasn't a surprise. We all knew how good Texas was. The game was decided early. Could have gotten out of hand. I said before picking Texas to beat OU back in October, the Horns had enough to win a natty. OSU was outmanned and throughout and needed help. Texas didn't give it. Holding Ollie Gordon, as John said, to 34 yards says it all. But kudos for making it to Arlington. It was no small feat. And what was achievable was achieved. Beating Texas just falls into the unachievable category yesterday. The Pokes couldn't sustain much against a very hungry. Texas knew what it was playing for, and the final score is nothing to hang your head about these days.
Well, up next, our